Welcome back. This time we're exploring Backbone State Park, Bailey's Ford Park, and Fountain Springs Park in Delaware County, Iowa, which is located near Manchester. Instead of staying at the state park, we opted to stay at Bailey's Ford Park, a local county park that's way less busy. This park offers larger, more secluded sites. Be sure to bring some approved firewood with you, as the park only sells it on Friday and Saturday nights, and we arrived on a Thursday. Our first morning, we had some fried potatoes and made biscuits and gravy over the campfire. This was a first, and it was rather difficult. After fueling up for the day, we headed to Fountain Springs Park in Delaware County. This was our first stop of the trip. If you take a second to look around, you can find plenty of wildlife. It's rather beautiful. We even found this skink. I like to research fishing in areas before we go on our trip. So I read lots of local fishermen blogs, and this is an area they suggested if you wanted to walk some creek and get a hold of some trout. That's exactly what we did. We walked for a couple hours that day, exploring the local scenery, and we eventually hooked into some beautiful fish. Where we were walking, the water was very cold and there was a lot of uneven ground. I do not recommend this for someone who has ankle, knee, or hip problems, as it was easy to fall or get stuck in many holes. I know I was sore by the end of our day just from the amount of walking we did. Today we only used basic spinnerbait, which seemed to be successful for us. When we returned to our site, we fried up the trout and some steak over the fire, along with some asparagus. Our secret is our grandma's homemade seafood boil seasoning, butter, and garlic, and then frying in a simple oil. It was delicious and paired well with a surf and turf meal. As mentioned before, we were staying at Bailey's Ford Park. This here is the campground map, and the next is the hiking map. Both can be found on the Delaware County website. Bailey's Ford was a quiet campground with a gorgeous trout stream running through the middle and access to the river. This trout stream was accessible from our campsite. We were able to get plenty of fish out of this, but it felt a little bit like cheating as they stock this every week, which is necessary due to the amount of people fishing it. Overall, we ended up going on a little bit of a hike, and we went off the trails a little bit. At the end of the day, we had a fire. We watched the sunset and relaxed before our next day at Backbone. This is the Backbone State Park map, which can be found on the Iowa DNR page if you are looking to use it for yourself. Our main mission for Backbone State Park was to get into some trails. The hiking here was good, but not above average. Some of the trails were hard and others were very easy. Overall, it was very beautiful, and I recommend a stop here if you have half a day or more. I don't have any footage of us fishing at Backbone because, to be honest, it was lackluster. We didn't have any success. We couldn't get fish to bite even a worm. They just stared at it. So I would find a better stream if you plan on fishing, but there were plenty of people who had success, so it could have just been us. We did find some caves to get into, which were pretty fun. They were very big for a cave, crawling through some of them and then able to stand up in the middle of others. We had packed lunch, and Backbone provided many great picnic areas, but they were all pretty crowded, with shelters being taken over by parties. After a tiring day, we had some leftover steak on the cast iron and also made some potatoes and gravy, which was delicious and I recommend making. On our final morning, we were getting ready to pack up camp and made some bacon on the Coleman. Thanks for watching, and I hope you get to explore some of these areas too.